This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger the camp is under is greater than you can possibly imagine.
For the key to our survival, 3 of you must quest to the Sea of Monsters.
Let's go do the impossible. I'm not gonna let some stupid monster stand in my way.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
Eleanor the Great doing some lurking, and we're preparing for the next life on a silent, deadly night. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Adam Ball, and this is Off Screen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom.
Hello and welcome back to another Off Screen. We have got a load of new movies to talk about this week, of course. So we are going to look at Lurker. We're going to look at Silent Night, Deadly Night. Well, we can all guess what that's a sequel to. Eleanor the Great, and we're going to start with Preparation for the Next Life in a moment as well. But as always, Van, let's troll through the UK and Ireland box office top 10 for this week. Question is, how many on here are going to be ones you haven't seen?
Well, I mean, there's a few. I mean, number 10 is Nuremberg, which, you know, now, I think it's last weekend, it's made 164 grand. Its total... Oh, no, hang on. So it's 160 grand. Its total is just over 3 mil. I think if it's at number 10, that's kind of gone by next week. It's a kind of film that you can see will find its way to streaming over Christmas. Kind of thing. And there it will be heartily embraced by what I'm sure has already been its audience, like in a smaller capacity in cinemas, which is, I do think this one appeals to the older crowd. It's a Nuremberg war trials kind of a thriller, dramatic thriller. It's got Russell Crowe as Hermann Goering, it's got Rami Malek, it's a courtroom thing. Obviously this is not one that's going to appeal to like Gen Z and multiplexes. It's made respectable money for what it is. But would have been the biggest film in the world in like 2004. You know what I mean? But not so much in 2025. But that's at number 10. They'll be out, I think, by next week. Number 9 I haven't seen, which is called It Was Just an Accident.
I never even heard about it.
Well, that's a movie release, so I think that'd be limited cinemas, I think. And number 8 is a bit of a sore spot for me. Just under £250,000 this took last weekend. It's Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. Do you know about this at all?
I know absolutely nothing. Obviously, I know about the original Kill Bill.
Right, so you know there was Kill Bill. It got split into 2 movies at the last minute and released sort of 6 months apart. Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2. Now, 20 years later, we've got the whole thing stitched together with, extra bits put in, etc. And it's now one long showing. It's called The Whole Bloody Affair. It's 4 and a bit hours to sit through, I believe. And I was so up for doing it. And do you know what got in my way? Odeon, which is the only cinema near to me that's showing Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, is doing 1 showing a day, and it's at 6:30 p.m.
Oh,
so if you've been at work for the day, you can barely get there in time.
Yeah.
So I can either get there like by the skin of my teeth, strap in for 4 hours, just not eat for the evening, or okay, great. So I haven't seen it, annoyingly, which saddens me because I really like Kill Bill. And the first one I haven't seen in a long time. I've seen number 2 more often than I see number 1, strangely enough. And it is a bloody iconic film. Kill Bill.
Well, to be fair, though, you'd have expected a bit more of a cult following. I mean, it's been out a week, and it's only made 233 grand, which is quite low compared to other movies that have only been out for a week this time
But
around.
because of the length of it, you can only show it once or twice a day in a cinema. You can only show it in, like, one screen, maybe twice a day if you do, like, a morning/afternoon showing and then an evening one. So you can and look at my Odeon. He's only showing it once a day, even if that's filled with bums on seats, which it won't be, but if it was filled every time with bums on seats, it's not going to make that much money.
If you think about it, the length of that film is almost a full school day if you take out lunch break.
Almost. I would, do you know what? If you'd asked me when I was a kid, I would rather spend a day watching Kill Bill than being in school.
Absolutely, yeah.
We didn't have Kill Bill when I was in school, but I'd have loved it. Number 7, Durandar, which has been out for a week, made 300 grand. This is, I think, a Bollywood film, which wasn't screened for us. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Number 6, though, we have talked about this before. You know I'm a fan of this. A month this has been out now. Just over 6 million quid. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I think it's a cert we're getting a 4th one. Like, there's most definitely going to be a 4th one of these, probably sooner rather than later, if we're being honest. And there is a Chinese spin-off series being developed as well. And I like it. It's kind of a generational Lego sequel type thing. It plays as like an All-Stars meets the Next Generation kind of ride. Typical magical heist movie. You know, magicians doing Ocean's 11 style heists. This time the villain's a diamond smuggler with an arch South African accent. Rosamund Pike. Good fun. I really like it. I'll watch it again when it comes to digital, definitely.
Well, that's at number 6. At number 5, an A24 movie, which is Eternity. It's been out for a week. That's doing all right. 388 grand in its first week.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it should. I mean, again, if we were 10, 15 years ago, this would be 3-4 times that number, like in terms of what it's made. You quite liked the sound of this when we were talking about it. This was the Afterlife rom-com love triangle thing, which is very good. And I don't know anyone that's disliked it. I think the harshest person on it actually was Kermode, and even he was kind of charmed by it, to be fair. But I like it. I even like Miles Teller in it, which is a very hard thing for me to say with a straight face. But because I find him a deeply unlikable actor and also not that talented. But he works here. Who'd have thought, like, casting him as a 94-year-old man in a 35-year-old body would kind of be his niche. But you know what? I live to be surprised. Here we are. And Eternity, very good. I think everyone should see this one. It's definitely going to be best suited, I think, as one of those nice little movies that you catch, over Christmas when you've got that period between like Christmas and New Year's.
Oh,
when
yeah.
You're off work. You and the partner are off work, and maybe the kids have been taken away for the day. So I'm like, what should we do? Should we pop to the pictures? And you see that one random little film. And because let's be honest, cinemas this Christmas are going to be chock-a-block with people seeing bloody Avatar.
Yeah.
And not everyone cares about Avatar. I don't care about Avatar, if I'm really honest. We're recording this early so that I get to see Avatar tomorrow. We'll talk about it next week. But I'm not that enthusiastic about it because it's Avatar. So when you're looking for something that's not Avatar over Christmas and you want something that's going to charm you and you'll go away going, oh, that was actually really sweet, look no further than Eternity.
Well, that's at number 5. At number 4, something else you haven't seen, Andre Rieu's... Is it Rieu?
I think he's Ryu. Is he
Looks
Ryu?
like Ryu.
I don't know. Andre Ryu. He's been around for decades. I've seen this man's name written down for decades.
Same.
Every grandmother owns an Andre Ryu album, I think, and I've never seen or heard one of him, to be honest.
Well, we'll just call him Andrew for this. So it's Andrew's or Andre or Andy or Andrew's 2025 Christmas concert. It's been out a week. Now, there's some big fans here. Nearly £1 million.
Oh, yeah, but these guys do make money, don't they?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's who are these? Alfie something? There's an Alfie, one of these like old singer guys, like middle-aged kind of singer dudes. They've sort of taken the void from what like Pavarotti used to do years ago. The album that you got grandmother for Christmas. It's very much that. But yeah, Andy's Crimbo concert. Haven't seen it. Wasn't press shown for obvious reasons. I'm sure it was just as good as last year's. I will say that.
At number 3, it's of no surprise to you that Wicked for Good is in the top 5. So 3 weeks been out now. 37.5 million quid.
Yeah, it's made all the money, and it'll make more money because it'll get repeat business over Christmas. They'll pack a sing-along edition in over the holidays as well, and then I think they'll drop this as a surprise release on New Year's Eve on digital, just like the last one did. And they did that last New Year's Eve, and it was the biggest thing to hit home retail in ages. Like it was the highest earning thing that had ever been released to digital or whatever the hell. And well, yeah, of course, because let's be really crass and honest for a second. The kind of person that's going to get really excited about the home release of Wicked, odds are that's not someone with a lot to do on New Year's Eve. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Odds are I mean, I remember last year when it came out that it had been released on New Year's Eve. I was at a New Year's party when I discovered this, and I looked around at everybody present and thought not one of these people would be caught dead watching Wicked. So I kind of make my case as well. I think the film is rubbish. I do think it's rubbish, and I fail to see how, even if you like the first one, you don't think this is a crap sequel. Because it's just not a very good follow-up. And then it adds insult to injury by crowbarring in the entirety of The Wizard of Oz as well, and butchering that. Which, okay, that's really going to do some favours with that fan base. But yeah, it's sacrilege, isn't it? But so it's not for me. I will simply say that. I know people that do love it. People who are adults and pay taxes and have jobs, but they apparently love Wicked too. They clearly have the worst taste in the universe, but somehow these sentient adults like Wicked. But, there are people out there who like being choked for pleasure. I don't judge,
At number 2, how do I follow that? At number 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's been out a week. Obviously, we spoke about it last week. 3.2 million.
Wow! Okay, I do not know. I know teenagers. Like, I've got Con, who's until recently was a teenage critic. He's now gone and become a publicist, and he was always our window into the sort of Gen Z culture. And we know that, so we knew for years now that they were really into Five Nights at Freddy's. He was really excited about it. For instance, I asked him at the start of the year, and he said that's the film I'm most looking forward to this year. I'm like, wow, really? And I just found it a really plodding, kind of phoned in, felt very direct to DVD, kind of by the numbers trash horror sequel. I was shocked to find out the video game is actually more recent than I thought it was. I thought the video game went back to the 2000s. It wasn't until I was having a conversation with a friend the other day that I discovered the video game is only about 6 years old. I'm sure there's about 9 of the buggers.
Yeah, I thought it went back to the 90s.
I thought that, but no, because it's set in the 2000s. It's set in around the millennium kind of time. But not terribly very good. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't rewatch the first one before seeing it, and I don't think rewatching it would have helped because it's all mythology, a handful of smattered scares, and just really bad character acting about characters you don't care about. A mythology that's way too convoluted for what it needs to be. Again, how do you mess up the concept of kids' robots go evil? Killer robots. Killer Chuck E. Cheese. How do you get that wrong? I think it was Kim Newman who actually shouted that out. How do you get this wrong? It's killer robots in a children's restaurant. And if Kim Newman's saying it, do you know what? Everyone's thinking it.
And at number 1 this week on 11.7 million is Zootropolis 2, which of course we spoke about last week. It's been out for 2 weeks.
We didn't actually get to review it. We can talk about it now because I have seen it. Thank God for awards season. They sent me this through to watch at home. And this thing has made all the money. So I think it had a $250 million opening weekend or something internationally. It was huge in China, much like the first one was. It's cleaning up, as you just said. It's been out for a week, it's made 11 million quid. You know how the UK box office runs. That's good. That's very good for an amount of money, even for a number 1. Over Christmas, that'll make even more because repeat visits, family's going to be off for Christmas, parents going to need to take the kids out for the day or something like that. So that figure may well double or even triple over the Christmas period. I actually don't think the sequel is anywhere near as good as the first one. And I know you've not watched the first one yet with your son.
No.
Because I'm deeply ashamed and disappointed in you.
Yes.
With all the films, I just figured this one was just the easiest. Like, every parent has to have shown their kid this one because it's the easiest concept in the universe. It's just, what if there's a city and instead of people, everyone's a different kind of animal? And that's
I'm sure
the
he would
concept.
love it. He's just so fussy, and to try and get him to sit down to watch kids' movies, he's got to choose them, or there's no chance.
I think this would win him in about 2 minutes. The first one, would win him in about 2 minutes. The sequel cannot quite decide, because the brilliance of the first one is it's half noir detective movie, half buddy comedy, buddy cop comedy. So it's kind of similar to Roger Rabbit in that way, except it's all animated.
Got ya.
The sequel cannot make the noir detective mystery work, and it can't make the buddy cop comedy work either. And so as a result, none of it really works. The new character, who's the snake voiced by Q Kwan, not a terribly interesting or engaging character. Like, it just really doesn't work. And the sort of subtext and morality of the story that they're trying to tell this time just does not land anywhere near as well as what the first movie did. Whereas the first movie had a. I don't want to get into what it was actually about, but say it was very on the nose with its subtext. It was basically about class and prejudices. The sequel, I think, tries to do that, but also does it in a false flag kind of a way, and its political messaging seems kind of muddy because obviously it's a Disney movie in 2025, so they can't knuckle down too hard lest they offend Emperor Trump, and it just feels like a waste. I'm not shocked that it's made the money it has, though, because the characters are likable and engaging, and the world is still colourful and vivid, but I would argue not anywhere near as well explored this time around as it was in the much better first one.
All right, well, that's Zootropolis 2. That's at number 1 on the UK and Ireland. Current top 10. Van, do you want to do the next movie with the next block, or do you want to just roll straight on and do preparation for the next life now?
Let's do preparation in the next block, eh?
Makes more sense. All right, well, coming up then, we'll look at preparation for the next life and Eleanor the Great. We'll see what Van thought in just a tick.
This episode is brought to you by NBA on Prime. This Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, it's the Emirates NBA Cup Championship game on Prime. This year's quest for the Cup has been building to this, the championship game, live from Las Vegas. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. The Emirates NBA Cup Championship game, this Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Kraft mac and cheese is the best thing ever. It's even better than pop music. You look just as natural enjoying us at age 13 as you do 55. Kraft mac and cheese. Best thing ever.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. We're going to look at Eleanor the Great in a moment, a new movie out this week. But first, preparation for the next life. So this is a drama from what I can make out, Van.
Very much, yes. This is a character drama. It's about a young Uyghur woman, from the Chinese Uyghurs, has emigrated to New York. She's had something of a troubled upbringing. She was brought up by her father, who's like a soldier who's passed in mysterious circumstances. As she moves to New York, she finds herself working in, the sort of the underground Chinatown kitchens that, as the movie would have us believe, filled with, illegal migrants, etc. And while she's working there, she encounters this young soldier. He seems to be, I would say, kind of around 30. He's done a bunch of tours in the Middle East, and he's evidently dealing with some sort of unresolved trauma that's come out of that. Given that it's several tours in the Middle East, you can probably hazard a pretty educated guess as to what that is. They enter into an unlikely relationship. He's kind of just backpacking through New York. She's just toiling away in the kitchen. They meet by chance, and an unlikely attraction forms between them. And he starts to bring her out of her very isolated mentality. And where the only release she feels, for instance, is running. She literally runs because that's what her father taught her to do. And this relationship starts to bring her out into the world more. But as she starts to come out into the world more, so do his demons as well. And you can imagine that the rift that this then causes between them. So I've got a clip for you. This is called Preparation for the Next Life.
I had to get better work. I had to do it myself.
I got you.
But you have your whole life ahead. I don't want to take advantage.
I don't see why it can't work out.
Because you have your own problems. What if I just put mine to yours?
You don't want this?
No. But maybe we should wait.
Maybe we shouldn't. If there's something that you want to do, you better do it today. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow.
See, looking at the trailer on this as well, this comes across to me as a sort of a wholesome, passionate love story against the odds, that kind of vibe.
I mean, no. It would be a very, very different film. This is a bleak, down and dirty kitchen sink drama about trauma. This is about how two people who both come with trauma simply cannot be, because sooner or later one of their trauma will drown them both. And that kind of is the central premise here. I think this is fantastic, though. I saw it knowing nothing. Went in. It's an hour 55 drama. It's directed by Bing Liu's work I wasn't overly familiar with, but it's the performers here that I think really own the show. So Sabia Bataya as your lead here, I think she's absolutely tremendous. She's such a find. Like, you could hear from the way she delivers dialogue. It's a very withdrawn, very reserved performance, and it's done in a very calculated way. That when those moments of light shine through, they shine through all the brighter, because the rest of the performance is so contained and so buttoned down. But again, because of that, when you get to the moments of intense emotion, when those walls have to crumble entirely, fantastic stuff, really great. And Fred Heschinger as Skinner, the boyfriend, you could hear in the clip as well. I think actually he had a difficult job with this, because it's kind of a stock and trade ex-soldier PTSD kind of character. We've seen this done 1,000 ways before. He actually, I would argue, actually finds a way to kind of sell the kind of relationship aspect of this, just what this connection is that he's creating for her. I think it's done superbly. I think the performances are worth the movie on their own. I think everyone should say it's a great movie. But again, I know like you said, don't expect a cheery rom-com, because it's damn sure ain't it.
Well, Preparation for the Next Life is out in cinemas from now, if you do want to go and see it. From one bleak drama to another, we are looking at Eleanor the Great right now, which is listed as a drama, tragedy, war, apparently.
I mean, this one actually has some comedy, to be fair. Okay, so this is this Eleanor the Great. So this is weirdly the first narrative film directed by Scarlett Johansson. That's
wow.
First. Yeah, a weird thing. I feel like they should have made a bigger deal like that, but they didn't. Okay, so this stars June Squibb. June Squibb from, I think, Thelma the other year, and I got confused with Thelma when I was telling you about this film, so I made it sound like this was Velma and not the other way around. Eleanor is played by June Squibb. She's a 94-year-old woman. She's had her best friend for 6 decades or so, and when both of their husbands died a couple of decades previous, they just became housemates, live-in sisters and best mates, and they did everything together. And her best friend then one day passes away. And Eleanor goes to live with her daughter and grandson in the city, and she is sent to a local community centre to join the choir, because her daughter thinks this would be a great way for her to get out and meet people. What she doesn't realise is that she's booked her for the wrong thing, and she's booked her in a Jewish community centre at a support group meeting for survivors of the Holocaust.
Oh,
yeah. This is also then complicated by the fact that because Eleanor's friend was a Holocaust survivor, and she knew her best friend like the back of her hand, and she's grieving, and she knew all of her friend's stories, one little white lie then snowballs. And before you know it, Eleanor finds herself stood before this group performing as a Holocaust survivor. Like, having to white lie her way through this and inadvertently painting herself as a Holocaust survivor.
Wow.
Befriending a young woman in the process, played by Erin Kellyman from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm sure she's been in other things, but she's the leader of the Flag Smashers from Falcon and the Winter Soldier to me. Erin Kellyman, who's an aspiring journalism major, who becomes really taken by Eleanor's story and wants to write a profile piece about her, based on the horrible things that she's seen and witnessed and endured. The only problem being, she actually hasn't. So, have a listen. Here's a clip.
I'm 94 years old, and I'm moving to Manhattan for the first time today.
I live in Staten.
My condolences. What am I going to do here all day alone?
I signed you up for a class at JCC.
I judged the morgue prematurely. I can see that now. Hi, I'm Eleanor.
I was wondering if I could feature you in my article. I did pick a subject for my journalism project.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually profiling a Holocaust survivor.
Do you know what? I mean, this film feels like it would really tear me in half, because where obviously what she has done is horrifically wrong, the movie very cleverly makes you, I guess, almost take her side because she's such a lovely old lady who made a mistake.
Pretty much exactly what they're pitching you on this. And the thing that's working the most in its favour is that they got June Squibb to play it. Because she's wonderful. It's very hard to dislike June Squibb anyway, but she's kind of perfect in this role as a character who really runs the gamut from being just a fun, lovely kind of lady, but also being kind of mischievous, taking no BS from anyone and calling a spade every chance she gets. Like, really, she's the, like, don't worry, I'll be the Karen here. She's the one who'll send your food back for you at the restaurant, kind of a thing, and do it in style. And Squibb is perfect for that. I also think Erin Kellyman as well, I think gets a great role in there because it's about the relationship between the two women, like, who are generations apart. But it's about this really sweet bond that forms between them, and also quite good support from Chiwetel Ejiofor, even if he's a bit underutilised and wasted. That being said, whilst I was very charmed by the film, I think the final 20 minutes are a disaster.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I know I've spoken to other critics who very clearly have their opinions entirely shaped by those final 20 minutes. Like, it's very obvious that those final 20 minutes coloured their entire opinion of the movie. I didn't feel that I was able to disconnect the 20 minutes from me. I was like, actually, until then, I thought this was great. I thought this was fantastic. Until the last 20 minutes when all of a sudden, this doesn't resemble reality anymore. And I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but it just becomes but people don't behave like this, and people don't react like that, and people don't forgive that, and people wouldn't do this, and it's very much, and it really takes you out of it, because the film until that point, again, I thought was really bloody good. I thought it was fantastic, and June Squibb absolutely owning it. But it's those final 20 minutes, we don't get into for spoiler reasons. I mean, the movie's 98 minutes long. So, you know, it's not an insignificant chunk of change.
Yeah.
But those final 20 minutes, they will potentially sour it for you. But I would argue you shouldn't let it sour the rest of the film for you, like I know a bunch of critics have.
Well, there you go. Decent review for that one. Eleanor the Great. It's out in cinemas from now. Still to come, we're going to look at Silent Night, Deadly Night, to get a bit festive at the end of the show. But next, we are going to look at the thriller called Lurker. We'll see what Van thought next.
You're going to love this.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. We are going to dive straight into our next movie, and I've been told by good authority from Van that this is probably a movie I will love. It's called Lurker. It is out in cinemas from today, and it's a music crime drama thriller.
I mean, I think I would describe it more as a straight-up psychothriller, like a obsessive fan psychothriller kind of thing set in the world of a musician. So to put this in context, you've got a sort of dweeby kind of 20-something shop worker boy, an introverted guy. I think it's sort of thinly alluded to that he is just that he is a gay man, because there's nothing with him and women. There is also this sort of weird bond with him, and anyway, I'll get to that. Who has he's played by Theodore Pellerin, Canadian actor Theodore Pellerin, who was in Sometimes, Rarely, Always, Never. I think it was Never, whatever that one was. He's working in this shop, this kind of fancy clothes shop, just doing his merc job kind of thing. And he has a chance encounter one day with this musician who I think is meant to be modelled on, like, Drake. I think.
Oh.
I think he's meant to be a sort of British version of Drake. So he's the British side of him kind of makes it a bit Harry Styles-ish, but physically he looks like he's kind of been modelled on Drake. And he's played by Archie Madakwe? Archie Madakwe from Gran Turismo. He was in the Gran Turismo movie and also Saltburn, in which, weirdly, he was one of the sort of hangers-oners of the sort of posh boy group in that. Remember that, because it's going to become interesting to the plot of this. Right, so our musician invites the sort of shopkeeper along. Hey, I'm doing a gig tomorrow night. Do you want to come to the show? You've got good taste in music. Yeah, come along. Goes along, and they become friends. And he sort of becomes part of the entourage. He actually gets a gig. He's the documentarian. He's going to make the behind-the-scenes doc for this, this script. He becomes part of the social circle, and he just has this, carnal need to be around this musician. I can't remember the musician's name now. Is it? The musician is Oliver. Literally goes solely by the name Oliver. And he has this carnal need to be around Oliver as much as humanly possible. To eat with Oliver, to sleep with Oliver, to go everywhere with Oliver. Yeah. The only problem is, what he hasn't factored in is these are people in the entertainment industry. They don't have friends. Not the same way regular people do. When they're done with you, they're done with you. And the only thing is, our guy's not really going to take that so well. So have a listen. This is Lurker.
Is this how you envisioned it?
This is the crib.
You should try to make yourself useful. If you want to stick around.
You got a camera. You know how to press record.
What the? You're like my hero, man. You're always on Oliver's Instagram.
Ollie, say hi. Calling this man Ollie already? You sound like one of his bitches. You're like my best friend. I mean that.
Yo, get back! Bro!
It's a detail shot.
Walk back. Fanboy, man.
Please tell me, with it being a music drama, there's a great soundtrack to this.
Actually, the music that they've created for the Oliver character is actually pretty decent. I would absolutely believe this guy was a real pop star. I actually really would. And Archie Wadakwe, who incidentally is giving the single best performance of his career here that I've seen. I mean, I've only seen him in a couple of things, but he never really made much of an impression on me. And I thought Gran Turismo was dire anyway. In fact, actually, the best performance of Archie Wadakwe's career was actually not laughing in Jerry Halliwell's face when she said the words, "These lentils are nice," in the middle of Gran Turismo. Even though it's not his film, it's Theodore Pellerin's film, hands down. But Archie Wadakwe, very plausible pop star. The way they framed it, the way that the music's created and all that stuff, it's quite believable. I mean, there's a music video quite late on in the film that you're like, actually, yeah, you could see this really working in a real world context.
Yeah. And
the psycho thriller fanboy element of it is, I think it's pitched in a really clever way, which puts it more into the Saltburn Mr. Ripley kind of area. It's very much the "if I can't have you, I'll kill you" kind of Mr. Ripley zone of psycho thrillers. You will love this. I think you really will. But one of the things it does incredibly well is actually thrive and build on moments of extreme awkwardness and tension. And that's where Theodore Pellerin really gets to shine, because he's tremendous at that. He's really got it down. I was shocked at how good this was. We had the press show for this, right? First thing on, I think it was Tuesday morning, first thing. I think there was 4 of us in the screen that saw this. A couple didn't make it, and my friend Maria didn't make it. She was really late. And we went and we saw Lurker, and none of us had any expectations. Because of how it had been handled on a publicity level, we kind of expected it would be rubbish, because we hadn't really heard of it. And the publicists were being a bit iffy about it. We're like, okay, that presumably means it's not very good. And then we saw it, and we were all stood around outside afterwards going, that was really good. That was a couple of us said, I'm leading on that this week. That's always the sign, a good sign of a film critic. If a film critic says they're going to lead on something, that's film of the week. You know what I mean? And there were a couple of people said, I'm leading on that this week. Yeah, that's actually shockingly good. Who is this Archie Wadakwe kid? I'm like, oh, he's the Gran Turismo. Is he? You're like, yeah. And then you have to remind everyone that Jerry Halliwell had another film role recently, and they look at you disappointed that you remember. And yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I thought this had such style and swagger, and also would appeal to fans of... Do you remember that TV series that was on this past year or so with The Weeknd in it? It was called The Idol.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the whole thing was, it was him and Lily Rose Depp, and the whole thing was that he was just spectacularly terrible in it. They actually cancelled the show as they were making it. It was that bad. He's honestly, if you want to see how terrible a musician can be when they're trying to act, go and watch The Weeknd in The Idol. Don't even watch the show. Just look up any clip from that. There's a clip of him being threatening. Look that up on YouTube. It's amazing. Like, I guarantee they show this video in theatre schools. Like, they must do. But stylistically, this kind of fits in with that. That kind of, it's the glossy veneer, but it's just really awful people at this stage of the entertainment business. And I was kind of won over by it. I liked the whole semi-single white female, a little bit Saltburn, a little bit total talented Mr. Ripley, talented Mr. Ripley, psycho thriller. That really worked for me. And like I say, best performance I think I'm ever going to see out of Archie Madakwe. So, enjoy that.
Well, there you go. I mean, you sold it to me. I do want to watch this just to make my own mind up because it does sound good. Lurker is in cinemas from now.
I will say also, incidentally, it's one of the best films ever made for editors. And I don't mean it's a well-edited movie. I didn't particularly notice its editing. But there is a large element of the movie that involves learning how to edit on Premiere Pro. And you're like, oh, wow. Are we finally teaching Gen Z that people actually have to do this and you can't rely on AI all the time? Because that's a weird flex, but sure. That struck me as amusing. It was a big day for editors, when they commissioned this one, definitely.
Retro. Right. Lurker is in cinemas from now. We've got one more movie to look at this week. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes, it's a Christmas movie, and we'll see what Van thought to it next.
In Walmart's Hulu'ville, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego Flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Hulu'ville, East, West, South, and North, could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart, who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then for one last ride this week. And I've got to be honest, this movie, I've seen the trailer on mute, just looks really creepy. It's called Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's out in cinemas from today. And as Van was telling me just a minute ago off air, that this is a remake.
Yeah. It's a remake. So it's a remake of the 1984 film of the same name. And the original was part of the run of what we now refer to as seasonal slashers. Are you aware of these?
Yes.
So there literally is a slasher movie from the early 1980s or late 70s, early 80s, whatever. But there is a slasher film for literally every holiday. So obviously there's April Fool's Day, there's Valentine's Day, there's, Silent Night, Deadly Night, there's My Bloody Valentine, there is one for there's one for Mother's Day, there's one for Father's Day, there's one for every day you can think of. I'm reasonably sure if you dug far enough, you'd find a St. Swithin's Day slasher movie. I'm reasonably sure you could probably find one. 5th Wednesday after Pentecost slasher. You could probably find, if you look hard enough. There, I went really obscure for you there. So this one, though, this is a remake. It's a back-to-basics remake, because the original had quite a few sequels. I think there were 3 or 4 sequels to Silent Night, Deadly Night in the 80s. The general premise of both versions remains that it is about a young man who goes on a killing spree dressed as Santa. Just puts on a Santa suit and goes and kills people. That's it. That's the basic concept. This time around, there is a new element introduced. So he is a young wanderer who sort of happens into like a drifter type, happens into town, sort of 20-something guy, just in his, with his coat and his backpack, just wanders in one day on the Greyhound bus, gets a part-time job at a store. He's going to be here for a little while. Hears a voice in his head who literally converses back and forth with him. And the voice in his head, which seems to actually emanate from a Santa suit that he keeps in his backpack, see if you can spot where that's going, basically points him in the direction of people that he spots are bad people. So it's not that he's killing people indiscriminately. He's putting the Santa suit on, grabbing an axe, and going around taking out bad people. So, yes, somebody has watched Dexter. Because that is literally the plot of Dexter.
Yeah,
Only now we're retroactively bolting it on to Silent Night, Deadly Night with this new element, even further new element, whereby this entity in his head basically body jumps. So at the point of death, it jumps to the next person that touches your dead body. So the spirit carries on. He has inherited this evil Santa spirit from the guy that killed his own parents when he was a kid, and he's lived with it ever since. So it's that kind of a slasher movie. It's also one that's clearly been made incredibly on the cheap. Like, there's no way this cost more than about 10 mil at best. Clearly looks like it's been filmed in, like, Vancouver. Like, everybody involved in this has obviously had a guest starring role in, like, Supernatural or One Tree Hill at some point in the last decade. So, I'm just setting the scene for you. Have a listen. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night, 2K25.
Kind of been drifting my whole life.
Hey, new guy. Are you okay?
At Christmas time, I can see evil. I slipped from Billy into something else.
So you're crazy. I'm gonna figure out what's going on in there.
Yeah, no idea.
What?
Naughty.
Do you know what? I think this sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I feel like if you can just put aside suspension of disbelief and crack on with it, I feel like it could be a good fun movie.
Now, to be fair to it, there is very little suspension of disbelief required. Because the film wonderfully knows what it is. Like, it very much knows what it is. It knows its production value. It knows its cliches. It knows its tropes. And it runs with them with such gusto and just leans in so hard that you don't really stop at any point and go, oh, this is good enough. Like, you don't think any less. You kind of just go along with it and go, okay, yeah, this is goofy fun. And, oh, hey, hacking up Santa, yeah. You know, it's one of those. And I took faith to this. She's not a slasher person. I mean, she likes like the odd horror movie. She's not a slasher person the same perverse way I am. And I had a ball through this. And actually, so did she. She got into it. Like, she very quickly found the frequency. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm going down with... I mean, it's got some, like, brilliantly crap actors in it, but in the way that these films need to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some of these films need to. You can't have a 90-minute slasher, you know, that's filmed in Vancouver for less than 10 mil, that's clearly got, like, you know, Robert Nutter or whoever on second unit direction and Mark Snow doing the soundtrack. You know, you can't have this kind of movie and not have some crap actors in there. The female lead, incidentally, is a real turkey in this one. Like, wow, I mean, first of all, the character is just the worst. Like, I'm talking Beck from You level worst.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Where you just go, oh, honey, you are just the worst. That's her. Yeah, that's absolutely her. So it kind of helps that she's played by someone who's actually not that good.
Yeah.
It kind of adds to the fun. Much like Beck from You did. Beck from You worked as a character because it was played by a not terribly brilliant actress. You know what I mean? Same kind of thing here. There's no real sort of stars in this one. It's you know, largely unknown fare, like young actors, say no names to speak of. I think maybe David Lawrence Brown, but that's a very niche one at that. But really fun. And actually, last year we had the Eli Roth movie Thanksgiving as well, the Thanksgiving slasher. So I feel like we might be able to build a new box set soon. If we keep this going, we might be able to build a new slasher box set. I hope they do make some of the sequels to this. If they keep it around the same budget level, they actually probably can get away with it, because I don't imagine this needs to make very much to be a hit. But actually, I think people should see this. And I think if you want a good Christmas slasher, we haven't really got one this year. Check this one out. I've seen every Christmas slasher of the last sort of 20 years, like for work purposes. 15 years, definitely. And I've seen some absolute lumps of coal. But no, this is a prized Christmas goose I give you here. This one, I think, comparatively, is a prized Christmas goose.
I just thought the name of that box set could just be Holiday Slashers, and then the whole set
Yeah, I mean, I prefer seasonal slashers, but the problem is seasonal denotes Christmas. So,
That's true, especially in America. Yeah,
it
you're
does,
right.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, if you want to watch Santa being hacked to death, you can watch Silent Night, Deadly Night.
It's Santa doing the hacking, sorry.
Oh, right, he doesn't get hacked to death. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, there are a couple of dead Santas here and there. It kind of has to be, but yeah.
I mean, be careful that your kids don't accidentally watch this, or that would traumatise them for life. But if you want to watch it, Silent Night, Deadly Night is out in cinemas from now. Shall we have a quick look ahead to next week then, Van? Because there's a nice little list here of potentials.
Yeah, also there is an amendment I need to make to this list as well. So obviously next week is going to be our final show of 2025. Can you believe we've killed another year?
I don't know where the time's going, to be honest with you. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But so, on our final show of the year, we've got films that are out next week. I think there's only like 2 releases next week. But there are, of course, ones that are out over the actual Christmas period that we get to review. So obviously, top of that list that we're going to have to review first and foremost, and this actually is out next week, is Avatar Fire and Ash, which is Avatar 3 to you and me. Then on, I think it's Boxing Day, there is the release of The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, which is based on the novel of the same, the best-selling novel, which I saw. I saw this on Monday night, and I was on my own. Right, my partner has read the novel. I have not. I did not know what it was about. I have only seen the trailer, and my mind was blown. Consider my mind thoroughly blown. But Marty Supreme is out over the holidays as well. That is Timothée Chalamet playing table tennis, I believe, and getting to enjoy a sex scene with Gwyneth Paltrow. We have also got Song Sung Blue, which is Hugh Jackman, and it's a musicians movie. That's I think that's kind of meant to be kind of an Oscar cash with him and Kate Hudson, and I think they are a pair of musicians. From the trailer, it looks like a banging good time. I think we've actually got an award screener for that to watch actually over Christmas if you're interested. And of course, the one that is also out, and this is out officially on Christmas Day, but we will not be reviewing it because, as I am told by Sony. See if you can read between the lines on this one. They're expecting a late print of Anaconda. As such, there won't be time to show it to anyone.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So what that actually translates to is, well, let's do the literal translation. Oh, the film's not finished. I know it's out in 15 days, but it's not finished. So we're not going to get it in until the very last minute, and it'll be too late then to show it to you before we have to get into the cinemas. You know, as if we still live in a world in which it's a big metal reel with celluloid wrapped around it, and they have to ship the thing across the world. You know, not like it's a 40 gig Blu-ray file that's downloaded from a locked server. You know what I mean? Like, okay, sure. I'll absolutely believe that you're using the same production process on Anaconda that they were using on Tom Hooper's Cats in 2019. But sure, okay. Incidentally, that's called a wet print. If you've never heard that term.
What, when it's sent on a reel? It used to refer to the reel. Right, you'd call it, the print would arrive wet, they would call it. But nowadays, it also just applies to a digital file. The idea is when a film arrives last minute, before release. So Cats is obviously the very famous example because they showed us that on a Tuesday. The premiere was the Tuesday night, and they didn't finish it. They locked picture in the US on the Sunday afternoon. Wow. And then they had about 36 hours to send the files out. So that was what you said. The print arrived wet, for instance, is, yeah. And also, let's be honest, does that not explain the world about Cats? Well, it's going to be interesting to see what you think to Anaconda, if that is the case.
Well, I mean, I'll see it over Christmas. Because I now want to know how bad this thing actually is. Because, again, reading between the lines, it means it's bad.
It's causing hype itself, isn't it? It's you know, the fact that they said that to you makes you think it's going to be rubbish, so you want to see it even more.
But I don't know. I mean, to be fair, do you know the weirdest part about that? I'm giving you some inside baseball now. The weirdest part about that for me is it's a Sony film. And I have all the respect in the universe for Sony going back years, because Sony were always the studio who, regardless of what rubbish they had, You're going to sit there, you're going to watch it, and you're going to review it, sir. This is a serious theatrical release. We're putting on a press show with snacks and everything. You are coming. They wanted you there. They wanted you to review that, no matter how bad they thought they were. But in the last couple of years, all of a sudden, it's like they've gained shame. And it's like, oh, come on. But you used to be the fun ones. Like, no other studio was going to show us Black Tower and Sausage Party and Emoji Movie and City of a Thousand Planets, you know?
Well, I guess we'll see what you thought to that one when we come back in January, because you're not going to have seen it by this time next week when we when we
no, it's not out till Christmas Day. I'll go over the Millennium. I'll find. We know what I'll do. When I said about on those days when you just wander by the pictures over the Christmas break, Anaconda will probably be that for me.
Yeah,
mine will probably be. I'll just have an afternoon. I'll want like a 90-minute schlocker, and I'll just wander into Anaconda.
Well, I'm really keen to find out what you think of it now that you've said that.
It's never going to top the original, though, is it?
No. But we'll find out a little bit later on what Van thought of that one. But yeah, that's all we've got time for on the penultimate show of 2025 this week. We will be back next week, of course. Until then, I've been Adam Ball.
I've been Van Connor. Keep it cinematic, and we shall return.
This podcast is part of the Mercury Network. To find your next favourite show, like mine, 5 Random Questions, visit mercurypodcast.com now.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. Mm-hmm. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.